4 months have passed since the South African rally cars have seen any action, and Durban in late February sees the start of the 1993 National Championship season. The Tour de Total Rally traditionally gets things started, and this year is no exception. The Durban Exhibition Centre is the starting point for this year's event, and last year's champions Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide have the honour of leading the 48-strong field off. Besides Serge and Vito, Toyota have retained the services of Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling in a second conquest in their all-Class A effort. While Serge leaves central Durban on his way to the first stage, Flip Wilkin, Toyota's marketing manager, explains their 1993 rally plans.
We at Toyota have been extremely busy in the off-season. We've built 2 brand new motor cars. We don't believe that they will be much different to last year, except that we've refined a lot of things. We've concentrated to make our cars much more reliable, and we've neatened up service areas. With other words, it's much easier to repair the cars should things go wrong. So our service crews have been hard at work. We believe we're ready for the new season, but time will tell. So has our opposition been busy.
Now, you are the defending champions. Obviously, you want Serge to bring back the trophies this year.
That is for sure. We believe that our teams together, we have a very good driver-navigator pairing. We believe the car's good. We believe the service crew's good. And everything must just get together, and we believe that the trophy will be ours again.
Nissan have an equally strong factory effort planned for 1993, and 2 brand new Sentra 200 STIs have been built for the teams. Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd lead teammates Nick Duval and Guy Hodson from under the Tour de Total banners.
And this year we started with a brand new motor car. It's not just a reselling from the old car, it's new in all areas. And for the first time it also features a lot of the Sunny GTIR parts.
Peter, so just explain the GTIR. Where do they come from?
The GTIR is of course the Sunny GTIR, which is the four-wheel drive Nissan rally car, which competed very successfully last year, and it just won the Belgium rally. So we utilized some of those parts on suspension mainly. Over and above that, we managed to build the cars much lighter. They're nearly 100 kilograms lighter than our cars of last year, and you know it's all a power to weight game. On the engine side, we're also very happy. We've got in fact 2 different developments of engines in the 2 cars. The one engine is going for flat out maximum power, whereas the other engine, we've got a more reliable version in there. So in a way, we're seeing this rally maybe as a bit of an experiment, but we certainly don't see the type of teething trouble time that it took on our previous motor cars. We've tested the cars and we're very happy with them.
Volkswagen have cancelled their factory efforts for 1993, but have made one of last year's Golf Synchros available to Jannie Habik. Running as a privateer team, Jannie has secured the navigational skills of Martin Butter, who lost his job when Ford withdrew their second car for this season.
Got a deal from VW where I borrowed the car from them with a whole batch of spares early this year. So at this point in time, we're obviously looking for a major sponsor.
Now, how do you see yourself as a privateer running against the other factory cars?
Well, all the technology that we used last year obviously is to my disposal, and I'll use it.
Now, a lot of the Nissans and Toyotas are bragging about lighter weight and more power. Is your motor basically the same as last year, or have you been able to develop anything?
Now, we've done no development, but we'll most obviously try a bit harder than last year.
And how do you see your chances?
We'll give it a good go.
And give it a good go they certainly did. In car with Jannie and Martin, on stage 1, we get to witness a few moments as the crew put their Stanbrick Synchro through its paces. This short spectator stage sees Jannie pushing the Golf to its full potential. The effort pays off, and Jannie and Martin share the equal fastest time with Nissan's Nick Duval and Guy Hodson.
You're 1:18. 18. Okay.
Stage is won in a time of 1 minute and 18 seconds. The Toyotas both score a 1 minute 20. Ford have retained the services of Sarel van der Merwe and Frans Bosse for this rally season, but have reduced the team to one car only, effectively leaving Glen Hall without a drive. Sarel and Frans get right down to business, keeping the Ford up in the Class A contention. The Sasol Laser scores the second fastest time of 1 minute 19 seconds. Leon Butter and Francois Jourdain unintentionally turn their Class B Golf into a sandstorm as their back door unlatches and turns into an ineffective spoiler. It's north and into the sugarcane fields as the route for day one takes the rally up the coast to the Stanger area, where it about turns and retraces the N2 south to Durban. Serge drops back in the field and Hannes Grobler leads the way in his Sentra on special stage 2. Although the Sentras posted good times on the tight stage 1, the geometry of the cars needs much work. Having taken extra service time, Serge slots in between the two Nissans and sets up a time on stage of 3 minutes and 5 seconds, which no one else can beat. Nick de Waal is finding his Nissan as much of a handful as his teammate. Nick spins the Sentra in stage 2, losing 15 valuable seconds to the leaders. Nissan team manager Peter de Waal looks on anxiously as his two drivers battle to keep on the pace being set up front. While looking spectacular to the spectators, the seconds start mounting as the drivers fight the car on every turn. While Ford have retained their cars from last season, a much improved Cosworth motor is at work under the bonnet. With only one car entered, Glen Hall's skills have been put to good use in the engineering department, giving the old Laser new life. Behind the four-wheel drive cars, a number of Golf 16 valve entries do battle in Class B. Leon Butter and Francois Jourdain are expected to come face-to-face with Jurgens Nel and Marty Olivier. At only 21 years of age, Jurgens came very close to winning the national championship last year. The Class C battle became an all-privateer affair late last year when Toyota withdrew the two factory entries. The Italians Peter Altesky and Alan Bissett arrived at the start of the Tour de Total rally with a well-prepared car and some local knowledge. A host of skilled Class D competition arrived in Durban for the Tour de Total. Terry Brandt and Jeff Tyrer know they have their work cut out as they push their Golf slightly over the limit in stage 3. The spectators stay put, awaiting the arrival of Enzo Kuhn, who, despite running well back in the field, manages an impressive time on stage 3. Nearly 20 minutes of extra service time have been used by the Conquest crew to sort out a few teething problems. News of Enzo's pace soon has the Class A competition abuzz.
Enzo, at the end of stage 3, you just did a blistering time in the last stage, virtually sat in the cane field alight. What do you think of the pace of the rally so far?
Yes, Glen, well, my rally finally came together. We started off with some throttle spot problems, and then we had gear linkage, then we had Ralph Chadwick roll in front of us. We had a super stage now. I think the pace will still pick up later. The guys are still finding their feet after the long vacation we had.
You had a very good stage this last stage, 2 seconds quicker than Serge. How do you feel?
I'm basically just trying to stay at the front or around the front, and let's see how many of us can still be running at this pace at the end.
Nick de Waal brings his Sentra in with an electrical problem. The fault, which would strand the average motorist for hours, is found and repaired in seconds by the experts on hand. Heading south and now on stage 6, Serge and Vito prepare to start the 7-kilometer dash, having just secured the fastest time on the previous stage. Running behind Jannie Habik on the scoreboard, Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd battle to come to terms with the teething problems on the new car.
16:07:37.
And to add to their frustration, a puncture on stage 6 loses the Nissan crew a full minute on scored time. Enzo and Johan, on the other hand, quickly adapt to the extra power Toyota found from the 2-litre power plant under the bonnet and have put it to effective use on the sugarcane stages. With the stage win ahead of them on 6, day 1 looks to be in the bag for the young Toyota crew.
Enzo, you must have been doing a lot of practice over the Christmas period. Do you still feel that everybody else is sleeping a little, or is the pace really hot?
The pace is there, Glenn. Basically now between me and my teammate Serge and Sarel, we have been testing a bit, and I had the opportunity to do a regional event, which I think really made the difference. But I think we're pretty much on the pace now, and tomorrow in the forest it's going to be a tough dice.
Do you see Serge or Sarel being your main opposition tomorrow?
Definitely Serge.
Guy Hodgson, your duties as a co-driver have been extended somewhat. What happened at the start of the last stage?
Oh, 50 metres into the stage, the throttle cable broke. So once we got under the bonnet, we actually discovered it had actually completely broken. So I decided to get into the bonnet and operate the thing manually with my own hands, while Nick looked through the hole in the bonnet and steered.
So, and this is the damage that happened to your hand?
Yeah, by the end of the stage, my feet were smoking because my shoes are catching fire on the exhaust, and got some blisters and things, and a bit burnt.
How much time did we lose?
1 minute 30.
You had any trouble today?
No. Test was free, lots of frights, but no major problems with the car.
Your plans for tomorrow, are you going to intend to still try and beat the Class B cars, or just settle for a Class C win?
Our main objective is a Class C win, and to do well as a privateer. So we'll certainly try and pick off the Class B privateers, but leave Jörg. If Jörg gets up and if he's on his way, then we'll let him go.
So the scoreboard after 7 stages looks like an all-Toyota affair. Sarel van der Merwe and Jannie Habik are on the same minute as the Toyotas, but they'll need to move up a gear to stay in contention. Alter Sky and Bissett hold an impressive 6th overall, and they lead the Class B competition in their Class C car. Day 2 sees the cars ready for an early morning start at the Alexandra Park stage in Pietermaritzburg. Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling have earned the honour of starting ahead of the 41 remaining crews. The day's route encompasses previously unused forest stages around the Howick and Richmond areas, after which the rally moves to the south coast for the final 4 stages. Alexandra Park proves challenging for the drivers, who have to momentarily adapt to the all-tar stage before getting back on the dirt. Enzo's luck turned on this stage when the Conquest suffered a flat front tyre, costing the crew valuable seconds in the process. Serge Damso showed good form under the misty Pietermaritzburg skies. Running on slick tyres, Serge, well known for his track racing experience, threw the Toyota around the Alexandra Park bends, which were first raced on back in the 1940s. Another driver, well known for his racing career, Sarel van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff, holding on tight. Jannie Habik and Martin Butter, well aware of the task on hand. Hannes Grobler attacks the narrow tar roads with vengeance. Their task now to make up the time lost on the first 7 stages. With the car not handling as well as it should, Hannes pushes the Sentra past its limit and puts the car into an uncontrollable spin. Almost 14 seconds are lost as Hannes battles to restart the engine. Italians Alter Sky and Bissett going flat out to stay sandwiched between the Class A and Class B competition. Jürgen Snell and Marty Olivier leading Class B and currently 8th overall. Ninth overall and 7th in Class A, John and Cherry Sanders in their privately entered 2-wheel drive Golf. 10th place, Glenn Durman and Dave Lukowitz in their Class C Toyota Conquest. They're currently 2nd in their class. 11th overall and losing oil fast. Uta and Jordan cling to their second Class B position. Third in Class B, local boys Tony Ball and Tony Babb with a bad start to the day. Overall and leading the 1600cc Class D cars are Terry Brandt and Jeff Tyrer. The Class D competition is close and has been joined by Paolo Piazzamusso and Neil Watt in their privately entered Uno. It's back on the dirt roads for stages 9 and 10. We find Sarrel and France first into stage 10, the second of the Howick Forest stages. While Serge needed extra servicing after stage 9, there's no sign of Enzo and Johan, who by all accounts should be in the stage. Well, Forest stages are what Sarrel cut his teeth on, and he immediately sets about the task at hand. We find Enzo's car deep in the forest, minus the front sub-assembly. The leading Toyota crew obviously well and truly out of the rally. Having passed the Toyota on the road, Habik would have notched up a place on the scoreboard without even trying. Knowing their predicament, Nissan's motorsport manager Peter de Waal decided to use the event as a shakedown for the new and mostly untested Sentras. Calculated adjustments are being made to the cars at every service stop, so that stage by stage the handling of the cars improves. Having had problems with his gear linkages, Serge Damso sets about keeping the Toyota honour up front. With his teammate now out of the running, the task becomes a single-handed effort. Having won stages 8 and 9, Serge and Vito go on to win stages 10 and 11 as well. Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd are still very much in the running. But on this stage, the crew lose 5 minutes with a broken accelerator cable, pushing them out of the Class A contention. The two-wheel drive brigade are finding the going tough, and this despite a generally good road surface. Peter Altersky and Alan Bissett slowly lose time to the charging Class B cars, while Glenn Derman rolled his Class C conquest out of the rally. Jürgen Snell and Marty Olivier find little competition from the other Class B cars and have only to hold it all together for a Class B win. Despite being outsmarted by the more potent four-wheel drive cars in their class, John and Cherry Saunders show true grit as they continue to stay in the top 8 places overall. This husband and wife team won the 1992 Transvaal Regional Championship and are on their way to a good result here if they can make it to the finish. Stage 13 is one of the longest stages in the Tour de Total Rally. We go in-car with Sarrel and France, who still lead on the road, but whose second place is seriously under threat by Yanni Habik on the scoreboard. Gearbox problems have plagued the Sasol Ford team since stage 9, and the missing third gear causes Sarrel to slide dangerously close to the edge. Sarrel and France lose time on this stage, but so do Serge and Vito, who themselves spin. Yanni Habik has had a clear run all the way through.
Yanni, this morning you started 14 seconds behind the Ford Laser of Sorel van der Merwe. You're now 37 seconds ahead.
Yes, we've been pushing extremely hard and we've had a clean run, so we're satisfied with the results so far.
Any trouble with the car at all?
Nothing at all. It's running absolutely perfectly.
How's the driver running?
Quite hot, I think.
Despite the 10 seconds lost in stage 13, Serge and Vito continued to lead, if even by a thinner margin. As a privateer, Habik has a point to prove, and Serge is feeling the heat.
14.
Sarrel powers the Sasol Ford Laser into the last of the forest stages. With his gearbox problems ever present, Sarrel can now only press on at a slower pace and hope the problems will strike Damso and Habik. Jürgen Snell is now firmly in command of the two-wheel drive cars and easily leads the Class B competition. Still in the running but well behind on the scoreboard, Leon Butte has overcome a multitude of problems throughout the day. Only experience and determination have kept them in the running. The Class D leaders, Terry Brand and Jeff Tyrer, had problems in stage 13, which cost them over 3 minutes in scored time. Tjaart van der Walt and Jaco van der Linde find the going tough on this event and never look like a threat to Terry and Jeff. But working hard behind the wheel of his Class D Uno, Diallo Piazza Musso takes the lead on stage 14.
Paolo, first time out in the new Class D Uno. We've just heard Terry Brand has lost 5 minutes, which makes you the new class leader.
Yes, I think Terry had a problem on that long stage. We all had a problem in the previous stage, but we're just going as quick as we can go, you know.
Any problems, teething problems with the new car?
Just a lack of power at the moment. That will come with time. The car's performing well, we're happy.
How do you feel about the last 60 Ks?
The last 60 Ks, they're hard, it's tough.
A long open section transports the cars to the South Coast cane fields for stage 15. Both Nissans are alive and well and doing better all the time. The same can't be said for Jürgen Snell and Marty Olivier, who, having slid backwards off the road, find themselves well and truly stuck. Time-consuming effort is made to create traction on the spare wheel, but progress is slow and the time moves fast. A tyre had caught in the right rear wheel arch, causing a handbrake effect on the car as Jürgen powered the Golf through the left-hand bend. Parked on the cane with its wheels clear of the ground, Jürgen and Marty have effectively put paid to their day's work and the points they so badly needed to contest the championship. All of 8 minutes lost, Jürgen and Marty get going, albeit with an open hatchback. But the time lost is devastating to their score sheet, and it knocks them down to 15th overall. They say one man's disaster is another man's fortune, and that's never so true as in rallying. Leon Butte and Francois Jourdain suddenly find themselves leading Class B. A word of encouragement exchanged for a word of consolation in the Toyota camp. Serge and Vito, having just won stage 15, and in doing so, broken a 3-stage charge by the flying Habik. Into the final stage, and no change in the order either on the road or on the scoreboard. Sarrel making the finish a formality to keep 3rd place overall. Habik and Butte have given it their all, and they go on to win the final 2 stages from Serge. The effort is noble, but the lead belongs to this team, who are far too cunning and wise to let it slip from their grasp. Of the 11 stages run today, Serge has won 6, while Habik clinched the remaining 5. To win the Tour de Total rally means an awful lot to the rally team and the management. Toyota's Flip Wilken and Serge share the moment of joy, knowing that the 1993 season will be a good one. Serge and Vita know how hard they've worked to earn the honour of wreaths and champagne, but in the back of their minds they must know just how hard a season this promises to be. The results speak volumes. Jannie Habik and Martin Butter must take a mention for effort, finishing just 42 seconds or a mere few hundred metres behind the winning Toyota crew. And despite the teething problems Nissan had to contend with, the drivers, navigators and service crews can be proud to have both their cars on the scoreboard and in the points. And the efforts of John and Cherry Saunders in their Golf and Peter Otosky and Alan Bissett in their Class C Conquest also deserve a special mention. 8th overall and the winners of Class B were Leon Butter and Francois Jourdain, while 9th overall and the winners of Class D were Paolo Piazzomusso and Neil Watt.